Hey, fourth grade. So you're going to be starting the next project, making your name in 3D. So hopefully you've already done the Ed puzzle, which talks about perspective and different things about our upcoming project. So make sure you have a really good handle on making your blocks in 3D first, then you've done your practice. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get started making your name in 3D and how to do your next project. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing you want to do is to just get your name in black letters. Now for this example, I'm going to just do the word art. Now if you're not sure how to make black letters, just really lightly first start by making your name in stick letters. Let's leave a little bit of space. I'm drawing really lightly so it's easy to erase. Just wrote the word art. So if you want to make these block letters, a technique is just to outline them. So leave a little space in between and press a little bit harder. If you know how to make block letters without outlining, you can do that. You might keep some parts that you have for the inside. And then I'll outline my R. I'll keep this part here. I'm going to T. All right, the next step would be to get rid of the bones or the inside, those stick letters that you made. Just erase those out. All right, so the next step is to make your vanishing point. Now you're just going to have one vanishing point for all of your letters. You can really have your vanishing point anywhere on your page. I would probably not recommend putting it on top of a letter. It makes it a little difficult to figure out where you need to make your orthogonal guidelines. I'm going to put mine up towards the top of this page. Now, just like you did with your shapes, you're going to take all of the corners to your vanishing point. You do need to use a ruler, and you do want to draw lightly. So again, I'm going to find the corners of my letters, have some corners here, and make your guidelines up to your vanishing point. So I'm just going to make my line. You don't have to make your lines go all the way. There's a lot to erase, so just make your lines long enough, or just keep them really light so they're easy for you to erase. So line up your corners. Each corner is going to go up towards the vanishing point. Now if you remember, if you run into another letter or a shape, you don't have to continue with that guideline. Now the next step is to make your parallel lines. Remember, parallel lines go the same direction. So figure out how wide you want your letters to be. You could keep it really skinny, medium, or thick. I'm going to keep these kind of medium. So line up your ruler with what you have, slide it right over, and make your parallel line. So here's my two parallel lines. The top of my A went horizontal, so I'm going to line it up. I'll slide my ruler over, and the top of my A is done. Now, if you might see some parts of the inside, if I were to draw my parallel lines, it'd be something like that, depending on how thick you want your letters to be. All right, so remember, if you have a curve, you have to use the ruler trick. So I have kind of a corner here, but so as soon as the ruler touches, that's where one of your guidelines is. I have a corner here. Now, if you have a name that's really long, you can shorten it up into a nickname, but I am expecting to see about 4 letters or so. All right, I'm going to do the rest of my guidelines because I'm going to have some of these letters overlapping. All right, so my R is curved, so the top of my R also has to be curved, parallel. Now, inside shapes are a little bit tricky because you really don't have, it's sometimes a little tricky to figure out which direction they go. So you can see this inside part of my R curves like that, so my line would have to go the same direction. parallel. This goes vertical, so this also has to go vertical. Get rid of my guidelines. I need to make my line parallel to the edge of the R here. And then I'm going to make the top of my T, keep it parallel. And there's my letters in 3D. So in your practice, it's okay if your letters are, you're practicing. After you're comfortable with your letters, you want to take a larger 9x12 paper, and you're going to draw your letters nice and big. If you make them smaller, it's going to be more difficult for you to draw. After you get done on your final paper, don't sharpen anything until you have your picture drawn. So think about what you can do with your picture to make it look creative. So you can add objects overlapping in the foreground, background, and feel free to check out those examples that I had you watch and check out in the Edpuzzle. All right, I hope you guys have fun. Please contact if you have any questions. I'll do the best I can to help you out. So after you get done drawing your picture, the next step would be to Sharpie. In the next video, I will show you how to add some color to your design.